What is going on, Panther? We are back talking about the Pittsburgh Panthers victory over the Eastern Michigan Eagles this past Monday night. Now, I haven't talked a lot about Omari Witherspoon to this point, so I'm going to do that now. I've continued to be impressed with the amount of rim pressure that he is able to apply on defenses, at least at the mid-major level. He had a pretty breakout game, I think, this past Monday, finishing with 15 points on 6 of 11 shooting. The 6 field goals were double what he had made through the first 2 games. He's kept his turnovers pretty low as well, so overall, been pretty impressed with what I've seen so far, even though there's times where I still feel like he has a little bit of a, I don't want to say out of control quality, but just the game is still a little fast for him, but I think it's slowed down a lot against Eastern Michigan here. Let's take a look. So diving into this first clip, really like this zoom alignment actually because it's both of the bigs together, and between Corin and Conti, they're just better screen setters than everyone else, except for probably Suolipa. And so I really like how when Conti tries to exit this screen, this is pretty much what causes the defense to be at a disadvantage because it draws contact. And I like that Witherspoon is always trying to get downhill, take some powerful dribbles. And here you can see, with this step through, just some polish in the lane. Also that 6'4" size really pays off here with the lefty floater. Just really nice job. Again, really like that he's going to attack this switch immediately off the ball screen. Backs up, doesn't like what he gets there. Resets, continues to go at the switch. And you see that he has a variety of hang dribbles, has a really solid both like left to right and right to left crossover, but just there's a little bit of variability to his game off the bounce, and I think that's allowed him, along with some pretty good initial burst and just his frame, to get into the lane consistently. Good left to right crossover, doesn't like what he wants, still has the strength to kind of fight through for that turnaround jumper. Here again, turnaround jumper. And in this last clip, I think what's worth noting here is Pitt's probably not in danger of losing this game at this point, but he's the one who has the ball in his hand, kind of grinding out these last possessions. I don't know if it's every single one of them, so I don't want to say possessions, but at least this last possession here, one of these last possessions. And again, the hang dribbles, just really good job. Left to right crossover, gets back to that spot for another turnaround jumper. Now, this is important here, these 2 3-pointers that are coming up, but I left these clips a little bit more extended, at least this one, for a reason, because I think Corin did a really good job playing post defense. He only had 1 foul in the first half. He did end up fouling out, but I think he did a relatively good job with his post defense, especially in the first half. Forces a tough shot. Suolipa with the rebound, who I continue to love with him and the ball in his hands in transition. Waits until he gets 2 defenders to commit. And I think this is probably the most important 3-pointer that Witherspoon's going to need to hit. Of course, self-creation threes out of ball screens are always important. But if he can hit down and knock down the catch and shoot, that's big. Free throw is still a problem for this Panthers team. I'm thinking maybe that gets better. Corin, good job rebounding in traffic. We know his hands aren't always great, so the fact that he got that, solid job. And again, another catch and shoot 3. So I've been pretty impressed with what I've seen from Witherspoon so far. I think he's only going to continue to get better. It's going to be interesting to see how he does against his first, high major competition against the West Virginia Mountaineers. So a lot left to be seen, but I expect him to, be aggressive, try to get downhill, try to apply that rim pressure. And if he can knock down a couple shots, it's going to go a long way in terms of, deciding who's going to win that game.